guys, Blackwing 2040, and I'm back with the comic book review videos. And so I'm glad you all enjoyed the Teen Titans reviews that I did. So you guys got some Titan knowledge in your brain. So now you know which Titans, which superheroes were Titans, and of course ones that you never knew were Titans. So glad you guys figured that out. I mean, got to get to know that from my perspective, because I really enjoyed the Teen Titan TV show as well as the comic book run. I mostly, for right now, I enjoy the comic book run. But anyway, let's step away from the teenagers and move on to the adults in the DC universe. That's right, we're going to be reviewing Justice League of America. Now, this is actually Justice League of America Volume 2. Volume 1 is from way back in the days when they were first created, back in the late 60s or early 70s. But early 60s. But anyway, this is Justice League of America Volume 2. It started in 2007, if I'm right, and this is actually during the 1 year later story arc, where after the terrible Infinite Crisis, and you know what? There will be a day I will I will review Infinite Crisis for you guys. Trust me, that's one of the craziest stories DC has ever made. Trust me. So anyway, back to topic. This is just a reimagining of, not reimagining, a rebirth of the Justice League, trying to pull themselves back together. And let me just show you guys the cover. So this is the first volume of the series. It's called Justice League of America, the Tornado's Path. And this story mostly involves, as you know, Red Tornado. Now, Red Tornado, if you guys don't know who he is, he's an android created by Dr. T.O. Morrow, who was used to kill the Justice Society. But in the end, Red Tornado joined the Justice Society and the Justice League, and from then on, he became a hero. And he's also he's pretty much an android, not robot, but he is an android. But anyway, so the story begins with the DC Trinity of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman in the Batcave, and they're having a meeting of who should they bring back into the League. They have a whole pile of pictures of which people they should have the League. They had Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. I know I wanted John Stewart, but John Stewart will come later, trust me. They had Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. They had Supergirl, Nightwing, Atom, Hawkman. Who else they had? Cyborg, Power Girl, Firehawk, Flash. They had a whole lot of heroes in that list. And Green Arrow. There were so many heroes. So anyway, this is just like one of the plot points that's happening, because there's a lot of stuff going on in this book. You have the Trinity trying to figure out what to do for the League, but the main story is Red Tornado, who currently right now is, I wouldn't say dead, but yes, he's in like a ghost form, and he's with Deadman, Boston Brand. He has this human body in front of him because Red Tornado feels like he wants to be with his family again, because Red Tornado has died many times and has came back many times, rebuilt, but not, I wouldn't say come back, but this time it's completely different. He wants to live a human life. So he enters the body and he thanks Deadman for his help, but he doesn't know, but to the surprise, this is not the real Deadman. This is Felix Faust. So Red Tornado goes back to meet with his wife and his daughter, adoptive daughter, but I would say daughter, and they're so happy for him, and everything's happy-go-lucky, hunky-dory. And what you have going on the other side, because there are multiple stuff going on, Black Lightning, who is doing undercover work for Luthor. He's trying to figure out the kidnappings of certain supervillains, of Plastique and the Electrocutioner, and apparently they call themselves the Bomb Squad. And that, trust me, that's a dumb name. They said that a lot in this book. Like, that's a dumb name, the Bomb Squad. So, anyway, Black Lightning is pretty much doing like some like detective work to figure out what happened to the villains and what's really going on. So he figures out that the villains, Plastique and Electrocutioner, they attacked Vixen. Yes, Vixen is in this book. They attacked her and they took her totem, which is, it's the source of her power, which she uses to attain the abilities of any animal from the animal kingdom. Any animal, no matter how big or how small. So they stole the totem, and now Vixen's on a huge search for where the totem is. And on top of that, she can't control herself or stay focused without that totem. So Black Lightning figure out that the parasite has stole their powers, and Electrocutioner and Plastique are not working alone. They're actually working for Professor Ivo, who's the creator of the Amazo robot that has the power to adapt to all the Justice League powers, pretty much. So Plastique and Electrocutioner are working with two other villains named Dr. Impossible, who's supposed to be the brother of Mr. Miracle, and another villain named Trident. So with that going on, Black Lightning gets attacked. He was able to get help from Hawkgirl. Now this Hawkgirl is Kendra Saunders. You guys know who, of course, Kendra Saunders is, the current Hawkgirl on Legends of Tomorrow. And she's somewhat, I would say she's like a reincarnated version of Shayera Hall, but the Hawkman and Hawkgirl origin stories, it's really crazy for me to understand. But anyway, so Black Lightning and Hawkgirl retreat to the Batcave because Black Lightning was able to knock Trident unconscious. And to their surprise, they notice there's something in Trident's the back of his neck. It's actually Starro. Now Starro was one of the very first, not one of the very first, but if you guys remember the Justice League cover with Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and Flash fighting this huge starfish alien, that is Starro. But this is different. These Starros are actually tiny little organic materials, kind of like a computer chip. Like you attach it onto someone, they obey your command. So they were able to retrieve it out of Trident and were able to trace back to where all the Starros were coming from. Now, I may have skipped some stuff. Going back to the Red Tornado portion of the story, Black Canary, Arsenal, meaning Roy Harper, and Green Lantern found out that Red Tornado's body, the original body that he left and abandoned, has been stolen, and they traced it back to Professor Ivo. So Professor Ivo was already ready for them. He had a whole stash of old Red Tornado robots, and they were able to knock them all down to pieces. But to their surprise, Red Tornado showed up just in time to help. But to their surprise, turns out the real mastermind behind all this is none other than Solomon Grundy. And to your surprise, I'm like, Grundy? Are you talking about Born on a Monday Grundy? Yes. And this version of Grundy, he's actually smart. So this is Grundy's plan. Grundy is actually tired of dying. Like, he's sick of it. Because every time he gets resurrected, he's either dumb or he's a mindless brute. This one of Grundy, he's actually smart. So he wants Red Tornado's body to help him stay alive forever. And Professor Ivo, he wants to die. So that's crazy. So what the League accidentally have done, they disconnected the Red Tornado body, the original body that they were looking for, and they accidentally activated the new Amazo. So this Amazo is taking over the original Red Tornado's body. So Amazo goes to Red Tornado's wife's home and starts attacking them. So the rest of the League rejoined with each other and were able to join forces once again, and they head over to stop Amazo. Except Grundy stops Red Tornado for helping the League because he wants him dead. Here's the plot twist. The reason why he had Red Tornado go into the human body is because he wanted to kill him. And let me show you one of the most gruesomest things that has ever happened in this, or I would say I've ever seen in this book. So during the fight with Red Tornado and Grundy, Reddy's actually able to hold his own only for a little bit, but it's not enough. It's really not enough for him, because when that is happening, Grundy, he rips, because Red Tornado is in like a human body. He rips Red Tornado's arm right off. I kid you not. Let me show you guys, because you guys don't think I'm joking, but let me show you. Look at this. He rips his arm right clean off, and the bone is still showing. I was like, oh my gosh. Because this story is meant for Red Tornado, and this story is this is all like a Pinocchio story. Like Pinocchio becoming a real boy, and this is about Red Tornado wanting to become a real man. So this is what this story is mainly about. But in the end, Red Tornado was able to blow Grundy away with the winds of a hurricane, because Red Tornado's power is to create force winds and everything. So his wind speed went up to the speed of a hurricane. That's beyond amazing. And he ripped Grundy's body in half. So you guys want to see? Because I never knew Grundy had that power to blow him away. Look right here. Here's the shot. Here's the shot of Grundy being ripped in half. That's freaking awesome. So in the end, Red Tornado is asked to be put into his original body, and they ripped off everything that was Amazo out of Red Tornado, and he was once again his original android self again. And so, with that being said, the League was able to rebuild themselves by creating the Hall of Justice and then rebuilding the Watchtower, and they have a huge photo moment, and Arsenal, Roy Harper, he becomes Red Arrow, because Roy Harper had his ups and downs during his hero's career, being a junkie and a heroin addict, which was a good way to explain how drugs were terrible in comics, because that was an amazing run for him. And plus, he's grown up with Green Lantern and Green Arrow for most of his life, because he was a street kid. That's what Roy Harper was. He was like Jason Todd for Batman, but who didn't die and went lethal. But Roy Harper, he's grown up. They gave him the Red Arrow costume, but technically it was Green Arrow's idea. So he saw how Roy grew up, and he was ready to be the next mantle of the Arrow mythos and became Red Arrow. And then after that, the League had a team photo, and it was a happy ending. Oh, and just to add on to the prologue, after they took the Starro out of Trident, they realized that Trident is actually named the Karate Kid from the Legion of Superheroes, and I will explain that in the next storyline, which is called the Lightning Saga, which is a crossover between the Justice League and the Justice Society. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. So I can't wait to tell you guys about this, but I hope you enjoyed this review, and I was really sorry this video was late. It was hard to get it done and everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until then, I am vengeance, I am darkness, I am Blackwing. Stay golden.